Tonight I'm here in my work garage. And by work, I don't mean the car behind me. This is not our day jobs here on this channel. I'm here in my semi-abandoned work garage to show you that you don't need fancy tools, you don't need a fancy garage, you don't need fancy anything to work on your car, and why you can and should work on your car yourselves. Hear me out. What's up guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Gregson and welcome to Shifting Lanes. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back and thanks so much again for watching. If you're a new viewer, thanks for tuning in, and if you like what you see, please give this video a thumbs up, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon to turn all notifications on. That way you will be notified whenever we make and publish a new video. Tonight I'm standing here in front of my 2005 Volvo V70R. And for those familiar with this channel, this car is a litany of problems. It has been giving me nothing but headaches since the day I got it, and I still love it. That's just how car enthusiasm goes. When you really fall in love with a car, you really fall in love with the car and you accept it for all of its faults. Now, before we take on the E46 M3 in the spring, which is going to happen, we still have it lined up, we have to do a lot more to this car to get it ready. So tonight I'm going to show you a quick install, and tonight I'm doing it for a specific reason. You see, this car is tuned and it's a turbocharged car. And when you have a tuned turbocharged car, sometimes you get something called overboost or underboost, where your turbo and your ECU, they don't really coincide with each other, they're not really talking properly, and you get some weird noises and some oomph issues, to put it in sort of a layman's term. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and bought a boost gauge. Now, I would normally buy something like this from FCP Euro. If you don't know who FCP Euro is, they are a European car parts supplier to you guys. If you own a European car, like a Volvo, BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Saab, Mercedes, whatever, they have a ton of OE and OEM parts for you. Same quality you get from the dealer, but better pricing. They also have a lifetime warranty on all wear items, and any shipment over $49 is free of charge. So you should go check them out. In the description below there is a link, click it and see if your car needs parts from them. Since FCP Euro does not make a boost gauge, which tells you exactly what kind of PSI is going through your system at any given point in time, I reached out to another supplier and I purchased this one. This is an IPD boost gauge from IPD. They even went to the length of matching the colors of the V70R dials and even down to the R font on the actual face, which is really, really cool. Now, I'm doing this for a reason that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. When you have a boosted car, especially a tuned boosted car, it's always good to have a boost gauge because you know what kind of pressures are going through your system. If for some reason there's a leak in one of the hoses or in the complete system, you will know because it's not hitting the optimal PSI number on the boost gauge. So it's always good to have one of these. I haven't had one up until now, and because I'm having this boosting issue, it's great to install this and I can see exactly what's going on. We can dial the tune in and then we can get this car a lot faster than it is currently. Now, getting to the reason why I want to do this in an empty parking garage, because I actually have a two-car garage at home, I wanted to show that you can kind of do anything with any tools that you have at your disposal anywhere, because a lot of people don't have access to a garage. They don't even have access to a work garage. Maybe they have, street parking. Maybe you don't have a lift. Maybe you don't have jack stands or whatever. I wanted to prove that you can do mods to your car anywhere if you just have a set of simple tools. Now, to most enthusiasts, a boost gauge install is not going to be the most elaborate thing in the world. However, this is wiring and pipe routing and tubing and dealing with fuses, and that's scary to some people. But I'm here to tell you, you shouldn't be scared, because there are amazing resources out there like sweetspeed.com, which has been so helpful in me working on this car. The whole Volvo community of comments and all these videos, which has also been so helpful to me. And luckily, this boost gauge install is on a YouTube video that IPD has actually put out to help you guys, and you can find that video in the description below if you want to purchase this. Not sponsored by IPD, just bought this, know that they're a reputable company, and wanted to drive back to something that may help you guys out in the future. You guys can definitely work on your car. You should, and you can, and I'm here to prove why. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk through all of the parts that are gonna come with this boost gauge. I'm going to install it, then I'm going to reflash my ECU, I'm going to log all of the new changes to the ECU, and I'm gonna send it back to the tuner. Let's get started. Let's talk about the tools that we're going to use and exactly what we're going to install. Now, I said simple hand tools. These are a little bit more elaborate than just a simple toolbox set, but everyone should have a set of metric and non-metric wrenches and sockets lying around because they're really helpful for not even just car work, but around the house. I picked this up from my local auto parts store. It has all the wrenches and sockets and Allen wrenches and Torx bits you could humanly ever need. So definitely pick up a set of these from your local auto parts or hardware store. The next thing I have is a set of small screwdrivers, a very tiny little chubby Phillips head screwdriver, a longer Phillips head screwdriver, and a set of scissors because we're going to be cutting some piping. I also have a spare set of Torx bits just in case any of these snap or they are not the right size. We have our boost gauge. We have our T-fitting that's gonna go into the engine, the tubing that will give us the pressure from the actual system to the boost gauge, and all of the wiring and harnessing. So that's pretty much it. It's like I said, to a normal enthusiast, this is a very easy install, but when you start to deal with wires and tubing, and we're gonna basically route things in through there, it's not going to be fun for a non-enthusiast, but we're gonna prove that wrong tonight. So let's get started and prep the car first. That was pretty simple. All we did was take off this fuse panel. Now it's a little difficult to see, but there's a bunch of fuses back here. There's a small plug that you can pull out of here. It's a foam plug. There's also something in the door panel that you need to pry off. It's a rubber piece. And we just open the hood so we can route some of the piping through here. Now I'll have a better look when all this is installed. I'll have a light where I can show you exactly what I did. So with that being said, let's now install, well, we're not gonna install, but let's put together the boost gauge because there's some pre-assembly that we need to do before we put it in the car. So we're going to assemble the boost gauge, the pod, the wires, and some of the wire nuts to hold everything together. Let's do that next. All right, so what you guys just saw was me basically putting this thing together, and oh hey, you can see me in there. This is what the gauge looks like. You can see the blue there, and I will show you that it matches the blue on the gauges. How cool is that? It doesn't have the brushed aluminum look, but it's silver, just like it, and it looks really, really good. And that R, focus, there it is. The R in there is the same font as the R in the gauges in the actual car. So that's really cool. The next step in the process is to get this thing actually mounted in there. It mounts in the front of the windshield, back over here, and we route the wires along this A-pillar here, down through here into the fuse box and underneath. So let's get that set, and we can then move on to routing the actual tubing through the fender and into the engine. After all that, we have a good amount of stuff done. We have routed the new fuses up through the dash, and we have our new wiring in here. Now, we don't actually wire anything in here, mainly because, well, that's what you do underneath the dash, but you have a little 10mm that you ground right there. You feed the tubing through there and actually go up through the fender, which is kind of cool. So let me bring you around and show you what that looks like. The tubing comes up through here in this tiny little pinch point behind there. Now there is a little pass through underneath that rail back there. It's really tough to see, but you can see the tube kind of go, well, get the light right. It goes underneath a little bit of that bolted down piece of metal and passes through the other side, and now you have your tubing. Now, I reached a point where it's a little difficult because the best boost source is down in there, and it is that hose basically, that goes to the intake manifold, which is right there. Now I have this snab intake that, well, we installed and we kind of need to take apart just a little bit, not too much. So right here, we need to take the snorkel off. We need to take the box out just a bit so we can move it and then get to that boost source. So everything is wired up. Once we get that all hooked up, we should be good to go. So let's get that done and light it up and see if this boost gauge works. Intake taken apart, scissors are there to cut some lines. Intake and bolts are over there. And as we pull back this piece, you can see as I go down in here, there's our T-fitting. We cut the line as directed by the IPD video and installed our tube, and the tube runs right along the wiring harness, up through, behind everything, and from exactly where it should be. So the last thing to do is close this up and start the car and see if it works. So fingers crossed. First start, I have the key, gauge is there, insert. Oh yeah, we have light. Let's see if it starts. Hang on, I'm gonna roll my seat forward a little bit. Pay no attention to that handsome voice, that's just the Bluetooth. Oh yes! Look at that, let's zoom in. We got it. Oh, sweet. It works! That's awesome. So that was a smashing success, guys. I'm really excited that I actually did this. We basically, like I said, I have to clean up, just get rid of these tools, put them in the back of my car, and then we're on to the next thing because we're not done yet. As you can probably see, there's tons of breath coming out of my mouth, and I'm doing this in 17-degree weather because, well, I wanted to prove a point, and you can do this anywhere and just work on your car anywhere at any time of year. It's crazy cold. It was negative 23 yesterday. I might be rambling. I'm just really excited. So yeah, basically the next thing is we have to retune the car. So we're gonna fast forward to tomorrow morning, which is the morning that this video is going live. I'm gonna retune the car. I'm going to log it, and then that will be it. So let's see if this boost gauge is telling us if we have overboost or underboost. On to the next morning. All right, it's the next morning, and this has been a smashing success. As I said last night, the boost gauge is in the V70R. We've retuned it with the Hilton software, and we've logged it also with the old Hilton software. I think this was a really, really good way to show that you guys can do pretty much anything. And you may be saying, oh, Gregson, you know how to do these things. You're a car enthusiast. You like working on your car, and that's true. But I also saved myself between $100 and $200 doing this. That IPD boost gauge brand new with the pod is $169, and having someone else install it for you at a shop could run you between $100 and $200 depending on labor rates. So doing this myself saved me money, and in the long run, that will be great to going towards other things. I guess to sum this all up is, I hope this maybe changed your mind a little bit about working on your car. Anyone can do it. You don't need to have fancy equipment, fancy shop, fancy space, whatever. I did it in a 17-degree parking garage with some basic hand tools you can pick up at any store, and I really, really feel accomplished. And it was, yes, it was a very easy mod, but the sense of accomplishment is the whole reason for this. I really, really think that as I'm doing this, as I'm learning on this car, as I'm growing as a modification person, as a wrencher on my car, because I am a DIY novice at this point. I can not really do a lot of things other than undoing some bolts and flipping some wires. That's still novice. I have never pulled an engine, I've never installed an exhaust, I've never done anything like that. So that kind of stuff I want to learn on, and I think you guys should too. Most people watching this channel are probably Volvo enthusiasts or car enthusiasts, but you know, share this with your friends. Show them that it is possible to do something with your car, and it's really, really easy. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a little something, and I hope it inspired you to work on your car as well. Don't forget, we have a Patreon campaign going. Because of you guys, we do this and we want to make this our living. If you want to support us, go check us out. It's patreon.com/shiftinglanes. There's a link in the description below. And any money you give us is going directly to our builds. We talk about it in the Patreon mission statement. We take zero money from this channel. All of the Google AdSense revenue, all of the Patreon revenue, all of the t-shirt revenue, we take $0. It all goes back into our cars. Until that can become a reality where we can do this as our day job, that's how it's gonna be. And thank you so much for your support. And it's pretty crazy to think that if every single one of our subscribers, which is up near 25,000 right now, gave just a single dollar, all three of us can quit our jobs, do this daily, and make videos for you. How nuts is that? So please go show your support, and thank you so much again. If you want to follow us on social media, it is @ShiftingLanes. You can follow me on social media @RealGregsonM, and that will do it. If you want to get in touch with us, it is contact@ShiftingLanes. We read every single email, and we try to respond to as many as we can. We get tons every day, so thank you guys for those. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. See ya.